Back to MNUFC TV. I'm going to get into the instant match reaction to Minnesota United 1, LAFC 1. This was at Allianz Arena. The referee was Drew Fisher, who, for the most part, I thought refs a pretty good game. He was going to let it be physical. You could tell that from the beginning of the game by some of the calls. He was going to let everyone play. He was going to let it be hard nosed. There was many a times where he was telling the player to get up if he thought they were flopping or whatnot. Um, I thought that after a couple times, I could see some legs giving out on both ways. Toy flopped a couple times, and but then when he's honest and there was a clear foul, and he's gotten booked for diving before. The ref Drew Fisher didn't give him his advantage or the foul. So you could kind of tell that it was going to be a really physical, hard nosed game, and the ref, like I said, was going to let him play. Um, and with the starting lineup, it was a little bit of change. Ozzy going for a rest, and Olam coming in, and Hassani coming in. The midfield. As well as Wilfred Turat, Mbembe Turat coming in for Chase Gasper, who had a red card suspension from the last game. Um, so um, the first 45 we played well. We had our opportunities. They had the ball. We had the ball. We were both going at each other, but we could tell we weren't sending as many players forward. But we were winning a lot of balls in the midfield, getting a lot of really good opportunities to either create a chance or score a chance. We had a couple. Lud popped up with a pretty good opportunity in the first half, and I thought he had a really good game. I've been harsh on him, and we saw his salary that came out this last week, and he's being paid a lot of money. We have a huge investment into him, so it's kind of why I see him still playing even with the slow start. But I feel like he's getting better and better every game, if that makes sense. There's each game he's kind of learning a bit more about the team, which it's taking a while. Um, and I don't know quite exactly what he offers yet. He's, like I said last game, he was really strong and technical, and he works really hard, and he has these skills, but he doesn't have the raw pace. He's fast, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't have raw pace or anything. And a couple of his shots have been iffy at best. But a nice opportunity comes up to Lordy and it's a cross, and he hits it off his chest and just doesn't get put enough power into the shot off the volley. And um, I thought that was probably one of our better opportunities of the first. There were Toy was calling for some runs and then not making them. I thought he had a really poor 45, and that was the reason why Angelo came in the second half for Mason. I thought he couldn't really do what Mason does. He was getting bullied a lot, and he wasn't getting any calls like he usually would. Drew Fisher was pretty allowant of the center backs of LA to use their arms and have a lot of tugging on the jerseys, a lot of pulling and such. And to be fair, he let it be physical. So I mean, I don't agree with some of the calls that he let slide, but that's that. It's not anything to be too concerned about, I don't think. Um, but the first 45 were good, and we came at them, and I thought Darwin had a pretty good 40, 60, not maybe 55, 60 minutes. And then the last like 20 to 30, he was the only outlet ball, to be fair, but he was being very sloppy in possession. Um, but we didn't really have anywhere to go. They really locked us down the last 30 minutes. We didn't have any outlets. Angelo maybe popped up with one more opportunity in that last 30, but the first 45 or first 15 minutes of the second half, Angelo had about one clear cut. Actually, I think two clear cut opportunities where he's got to score. And Angelo, when he came on, it's exactly what the team needed: someone to hold the ball up and let other runners go. And he was making some runs, and he was being very strong on the ball and winning it back and holding it up for everyone else to catch up. And like, Angelo doesn't have the pace of Mason, but I thought he did well. Besides not being able to score a goal, he had several opportunities, and it's unfortunate because I thought if he played well, and it's exactly what we needed, but he is definitely gone with the lack of goal scoring ability from him. I don't see him staying another year and wasting another DP slot. Many have said we're in the market for a striker DP to complement Mason Toy and just probably start over him. To be fair, Mason's raw, good, and he's got some good games in him, but he's in a very bad spell right now. He's had some rough couple games, but it'll definitely turn it around. I don't doubt that. Asani came into the midfield and I thought played well. So those are just some new faces, and I thought as a whole, Ike was great. And there was one iffy situation with the field where Ike looked like he had maybe pulled a hammy or something, and luckily he wasn't hurt too bad and was able to stretch it out and get back onto the field. But that turf was looking rough at the end of the game. I know it rained, but there's been some problems with the turf, and actually the turf at the end of the game came up as the 12th man and stopped one of LA's players from being able to go through on net, and it kind of just made the ball bounce. It was a bad surface, and it bounced out, gave it a little bit too much pace and bounced out for a goal kick, or it might have been to Vito, just rolled into Vito. Either way, the pitch, Chris Wright said that the CEO of Minnesota United said that the Tommy Johnny game will go on, and he said some stuff about replacing the field with another surface from a farm in Wisconsin. So hopefully, and the specialists have said there shouldn't be any problems for the Minnesota game with doing this, but the field has looked rough the last so often, and we do know because it was towards the Aston Villa game, there was a leak in some plumbing to do with the draining in the field. So one side probably is suffering from that, because it does seem like that side closest to the premium entry is just getting ripped up game in and game out, and they had some replacement sod in there, and you could tell it was different grass, and I don't think it helped. It probably helped a bit, but they got a serious job to do to fix that for the playoffs. But we didn't have much possession in the last 45. One other thing that happened in the first 45, I thought, even though it was right for a no-call penalty, the defender, Lod, is able to almost get a cross in, maybe even a shot, really early in the game. It was really early. Might have been our first attack. And the defender pushes him off the ball with an extended push. Like, it wasn't like close push. It was hands out, extended push. Lod doesn't go down. He does not go down. But in the middle of the field, I feel like that would be a foul. So it's the ref has a tough job with that, because in the middle of the field, I thought it would be a foul. But like I said earlier, he was him himself, no, but his style of play that he would let it happen was very aggressive, and a lot of body tugging and shirt tugging as well. So, but when Angelo came on, and like I said, he was first 15-20 minutes was creating opportunities. Really should have had a goal or two. and he did good. But then once we only had an outlet to Quintero in the last 20 minutes, Angelo was just plopped in that center circle, just standing there, and it was hard to see because I think he knows he's probably not going to be here next year as well as the rest of the club. Can't assume that, but it just has a feeling like we're not going to keep him around for the next year. Um, Ethan Finley comes on and he had a little bit of play, worked hard, but I don't think he impacted the game too much. Other than that, Carlos Vela is incredible, and I thought we did really, really good to stop him, but then we let him shoot that one curling shot, and it just puts it in the top corner, or it might have been the middle over Vito. From my angle, it looked like the top right corner, just nestled in there, and that's what Vela does. He scored many goals like that, curling the ball into the corners. Vito had a huge save on him earlier too. Vito played great. He came up with so many saves and kept us in the game. And after Vela scored, we really gave him a go, and we actually win a free kick on their side of the half, or right, kind of middle, right on the edge of their side. Um, and Gregus puts a lovely ball in there, and LAFC holds a high line, and Boxall and Ike are the only two guys around, and Boxall just hits it over, heads it up and over the goalie who had come out for it, and it was a great, great set piece goal. You heard me right, a set piece goal for Minnesota United, and Jan all year has been putting balls on a platter, and with Ike and Boxall, these two big guys that can get up and win a header, we should definitely be having more goals on counters and set pieces like this. I think we should probably be taking a shot into the box every time with Jan's delivery and those two guys towering over everyone. Um, so there was that. I thought that goal was a good goal, and I think we can really capitalize on that more. It was really unfortunate towards that, how Darwin he towards the last about through the 70th through the 80th minute he was out on that left side, just kind of drifting. Um, and I don't know if this was told or not, but then I can't remember who was going down the right wing, and Darwin's on the far left, and they put a ball in to the box, and you're thinking, who's going to win this ball? But uh, Darwin Quintero actually got over. It might have been Beta Shore, I can't remember, and he actually beat him by a foot at least to the header, and he puts it in the only spot where he could have put it on target, and the goalkeeper makes a great save. And if Darwin would have let that or been able to score that, I really thought we could have got the 3 points. But LAFC was clearly the better team. They had a lot of possession. They could win the ball back very easily in the midfield. But we can beat them like we have in the past. Our defensive shape was really, really solid and extremely solid. It just is unfortunate that we don't have the personnel to play a five in the back in the playoffs due to Coleman's suspension. But what are you going to do? Because I feel like towards maybe some of these teams, a five in the back formation, like I believe we used last time against LAFC, could really, really work. So it's unfortunate about that because I believe Heath doesn't trust Omsberg enough for the playoffs. And personally, Omsberg hasn't proven to be trusted. He's had some decent games, but in some less meaningful ones. So I think he's more of a. I honestly don't know why he's on the bench sometimes because I can understand why because he is a natural center back, but I don't see him getting into the game. I see Olam being able to drop back as a center back with an injury maybe, but I don't think we'll start with be able to start with Olam as a center back. I don't think that would work well. Um, but overall, a really really good point. And that point makes us not be able to drop as low as fourth place. So I believe that gives us a home playoff game, the first leg. And um, with that being said, I think that could move us on to the next round easily, a home playoff game. But we can't get carried away before the game. But it does set us up in a very good position to advance. Very, very good position to advance. So um, overall, there were some ups and downs to the game, some highlights and some lowlights, but definitely defensively compact. And the only question I have is how are we going to get some of these outlet passes if our striker's not fully firing on all cylinders? Mason can score, but his hold up play was lacking, and Angelo's hold up play was amazing, but can't score to save his life. So if we could just find a nice median of that and have someone to put the ball in the back of the net, a little bit of hold up play, don't always have to be perfect, but it would be really nice to have a nice median of Mason, Toy, and Angelo. I think that would fit our system perfectly, but can't mix players together, obviously. So that's going to be it for me for my instant match reaction. A little bit long, but as always, come on, you loon.